Sadashivasamaramabham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Bhadram Karnebhihi Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyema Akshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangaistushtvagum Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitan Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashravaah Swasti nः Pusha Vishwavedaah Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspatirdadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's chant the seventh mantra. Na antah pragyam, na bahish pragyam, na ubhayatah pragyam, na pragyana ghanam, na pragyam, na pragyam, adrishtam, avyavaharyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintyam, avyapadeshyam, ekatma pratyayasaram, prapancha upashamam, shantam, shivam, advaitam, chaturtham manyante, sa atma, sa vigyeyaha. So, continuing from last week, where we saw that the purpose of Advaita Vedanta, it actually has two segments of the purposes. One is Shasanam and the other one is Shansanam. So Shasanam is connected to sadhana, the means of achievement, and Shansanam is connected to what is to be achieved. Sadhana and sadhya. So it is imperative for the students of Atma Vidya, self-knowledge, to have Shraddha in the basic tenet of Vedanta, which is this. This is the basic tenet of Vedanta. You will achieve the ultimate objective of living if you understand who you are. No matter what you think, speak, or do, you will not achieve your goal if you do not correct the basic mistake of not knowing yourself. This is the basic tenet of Vedanta. So it means that you are someone that needs to be understood fully. And if you don't understand it fully, if you just know it partially, then you do not achieve the ultimate objective of your life. This is the basic tenet of Vedanta, and we should always keep that in mind. So in explaining this at various places, our acharyas say this. You know, when we talk about self-knowledge, what does it really mean? This is what we need to be very clear about. It is not as though we don't know yourself. We know ourselves quite a bit, but there is a certain aspect of ourselves that we do not know. And that's what's keeping us from total fulfillment. The same example is given, not the same example, but an example is given in the 10th man. So in the 10th man, which is a very important example really, in the explanation of Vedantic truth, this basic tenet, very important example. So if you look at the makeup of the 10th person, it isn't as though the 10th person didn't know himself at all. That's not true. He knew a lot about himself. The fact that he's a boy, that he's 18 years of age, he is the student of such and such teacher, he is the son of this father. All of these things he knows. He knows a lot about himself. But there is a missing piece which, if not understood, makes the difference between sorrow and happiness. And that missing piece in his case was that I am already what I am searching for. This is the missing piece in the 10th man example. So here our acharyas say the same thing. So we should really understand that about ourselves. This is what self-knowledge means. We know a lot about ourselves. I mean, it'll be comical, really, if you tell someone that I'm attending some classes about self-knowledge. And they will tell you, I don't understand this. Hey, you know yourself. What's somebody else going to tell you about that you don't know yourself? Isn't this wasting your time? So you cannot even discuss that with someone unless they're ready to understand these principles. So here's what happens. We know a lot about ourselves. It's very important to see this, actually. You know, they say that the nature of all living beings is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now, whether you use Sanskrit or English or doesn't matter. Here's the thing. Is there anyone that doesn't know that he or she is? Of course not. Everybody knows that I am. This is called Sat. Right? I know I am. We can call it Sat in Sanskrit. Sat means truth, means I am. The second thing is, does anyone not know that you are conscious? No. Nobody knows. Nobody does not know that the person is conscious. So this is called Chit. Okay. So we have gone two. I know that I'm Sat. I know that I'm Chit. Then comes the fact, does anyone not know that the most valuable person in the whole universe is me? Valuable in the sense of, what is value? Value means the attainment of happiness. This is very valuable to me. Means that I'm okay with it. So does anyone not know that the self is the most important, valuable source of happiness? No. Nobody knows. Nobody does not know that. So now we can complete this picture, just like in the 10th man's person. There's a lot that the 10th person knows about himself. Similarly, you and I, we don't need Vedanta for this. We don't need any scriptures. No scriptures are necessary to know that I am Sat Chit Ananda. Whether we can express it in that language or not, but the fact of the matter is, I am already aware of the fact that I am conscious, and I am the most valuable person in the whole universe. Everyone. So I know Satchidananda. Really, whether you say that or not in language, essentially you already know it. You don't need anybody to tell you that. Then what is the value of this teaching and Vedanta and all this and Upanishads and going to a guru is a huge commitment and all that. Why? What do we need to do? You already know I'm Satchidananda. So just like the 10th man story, just 10th man example, there is something about me that I don't understand, that keeps me from achieving the ultimate objective of my life. What is that? So what that is Advaita. What do we mean by Advaita? What it means is this. Even if I know that I'm conscious, and I'm the most important person, it is somewhat useless because of the overlay of the fact that I am a limited being. This is the This is the impurity, if you may. That's the word I was looking for. This is the dirt. This is the impurity that makes my understanding useless. Not completely useless, but relatively useless. Not enabling me to see the totality of who I am. This overlay of smallness. And the basic tenet of Vedanta is that, my dear, is a mistake. You're looking at yourself as a small person, limited person, a parichinna. This is called parichinna. Sanskrit word, but it means limited in every which way. That completely renders Satchidananda and renders it useless. And the tenet of Vedanta is, this is not true. You do not know that not only are you Satchidananda, which you instinctively know, you are totally unlimited. Totally unlimited. You are overlaying something on top of yourself which is so harmful to you, it is unimaginable. In very simple terms, you are Mahakasha. You are the unlimited space. But you are rendering yourself to be useless by covering yourself with the upadhi of smallness. And you become a Ghatakasha. Ghatakasha means that you view yourself from the standpoint of the upadhi that you have as a result of ignorance. This is the thing. So, in other words, they say that the purpose of Vedanta, the basic tenet of Vedanta, is that not only are you the Jivatma, so you can say I am the Jivatma. When you say I am the Jivatma, that means I am a limited Satchidananda. So yeah, another very interesting way to look at it. You are a limited Satchidananda, when in fact you are an unlimited Satchidananda. And that makes the total difference between success and failure, between happiness and dukkha. Total. That explains the whole thing. That is the purpose of Vedanta, nothing else. This is called Advaita. And how does it call Advaita? Because, so here, look at this. When you feel that you are a limited Satchidananda, what does it mean? What is the limitation? So you have to understand what the limitation is. So the limitation is every which way. So take Sat. The limitation of the Sat is that I am bound by time. The limitation of Chit is I am dependent on other things to be conscious. My feeling is that my consciousness is some of my property. And if my body gets injured, it will injure my consciousness. So the consciousness also gets limited because of my wrong ideas that somehow I am the product of that. Chetana is independent and Jadatvam, inertness, is just a appliance. I feel that I am dependent on the appliance. That's another limitation. And then when it comes to Ananda, it is totally in pieces. I am dependent on so many things. Stomachache, headache, somebody saying the wrong thing, somebody is criticizing. Politics, every little thing, hunger, thirst, health, disease, time. My Ananda is in pieces. And I become a beggar, trying to piece together some moments of. And when I am really, truly independent of everything, which is in deep sleep, I brush it off. Oh, that's just sleep. That's not me. So therefore, what is really keeping me is the limitations of Satchidananda. I don't understand. I am not limited. I do understand that I am Satchidananda, but you don't need to read books to understand that. That's what my feelings are. But there is a basic mistake that I'm making, which is I put an overlay of parichinnitvam on myself. As a consequence, I render my mahima, my grandeur, useless. And what Vedanta shows me through the teaching is, my dear, you are not limited by anything. And the things that you appear to be limited from in terms of space, time, and vastu, other vastus, is a mistake. They are in fact at a lower level of reality than what you are. Please see this. You are giving unnecessary importance to the world and to drishya. Drik and drishya are not on the same level. Drishya is a little lower level of reality. It cannot injure you, it cannot limit you. This is the basic tenet of Advaita Vedanta, is to complete this missing piece. So in the 10th man example, you don't have, when you say self-knowledge, you have a lot of knowledge about yourself. But there's a small piece that is rendering the whole thing to be useless. This is the basic message of Vedanta that we must appreciate and to learn and to understand. Swami Akhandananda repeatedly says in Hindi, भाई ये समझने की बात है, ना समझी ना समझना सारी दुनिया की मुश्किलें बता देता है. ना समझ. This na samaj means understanding. Na samaj means non-understanding. He says it's just a matter of this is what Atma Vidya. So the Atma Vidya is what is called Brahma Vidya. So the Brahma Vidya means that I am not just a Jivatma. In fact, the Jivatma is a notion which is hiding Paramatma. Another way to really look at that is you are blocking Paramatma. You're blocking Paramatma by the false notion that I'm a Jivatma. And the falsity of that you have to understand. And as you understand, you will see, my goodness, I am not just a limited Satchidananda, I am an unlimited Satchidananda. Just one thing, that's it. And we do all this study and so on and so forth just because of that. So in doing so, it's interesting that in some way our Dvaita, our understanding of this is the starting point of Drik Drishya Viveka. So as we have seen that the word on one level is that the Drishya and Drik, the Aham and Idam are all mixed up. I don't see a big difference. Then it is said, listen, this entity that you are consists of two aspects. There is a Drishya aspect and a Drik aspect. So this is the Viveka, Drik and Drishya. Okay. Then the next level is, this is just a stepping stone. We haven't reached it. We have not reached the top. Then it is said, listen, Drik and Drishya are not at the same level of reality. Because in Vyavaharika Sat, in my transactional, in my life of transactions, Vyavahara, I find that I am a drashta, and this is something that I'm seeing. Or I am bhokta, and this is bhogya. I am jnata, this is jnaya. I'm a knower, this is to be known. I'm a karta, this has to be done. I'm an enjoyer, this has to be enjoyed. And so there is a certain sense of duality between myself and the world, which is apparent to me in my vyavahara. We'll come to this word, avyavaharyam. But just look at this. So, this is my understanding at this point, that I as a drashta and this as a drishya, are at the same level of reality. I can't distinguish. What do you mean by levels of reality? It's all there. This is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm the seer, and this is what I'm transacting, this is what my life is. Then the next level of teaching comes is, yes, you are right. You should first take the step that Drishya and Drik are not all mixed up. Drik and Drishya are two separate. Okay? Got it. Now we have to see that the Drik is at a higher level of reality than Drishya. What do you mean by higher level of reality? The Drik is the unlimited Satchidananda, and the Drishya is an apparent limitation. It is not a real limitation. You are giving too much importance to Drishya, as we saw in the example of the scorpion, that it is understandable that you are scared of the form of scorpion. It looks so real. When you put your covers up, it was sitting there black with all of its form. It's a little shiny. Hey, it's very understandable. Because you and the scorpion were at the same level. But if you were to understand, because, in the example, there's your naughty kid. Usually it will be a boy. Girls will not do this. The boy will be naughty and he's just watching there to see how you react for the scorpion in your bed. And he's giggling. And the moment he giggles, aha, this is something funny going on. Now you can grab it. And you actually appreciate it. You say, my goodness. You can tell him, don't ever do this to me again. You scared the death out of me. I almost had a heart attack. You can scold the person. But at the same time, you are admiring. My lovely, it looks so real. My goodness. This is our situation. At this moment, the view of Dvaita is that the world is scary. It just makes me very limited. I don't know how long I will live. I don't know what is going to happen to me in my next life, if there is a next life. I don't know what's happening. Scary. But Vedanta says, wait. It giggles. It cannot giggle. Like your son. But it says, wait. Is this what you're taking to be seriously? Yep. It is not. Understand you are at a higher level of reality. So this is where the second line of the seventh mantra starts to talk. And as you know, so it says, starts by saying, Adrishtam, avyavaharyam, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintyam, avyapadeshyam, ekatma pratyayasaram. What does it mean? What it means is, my dear, you are at a higher level of reality than bahishpragyam, antahpragyam, ubhayatahpragyam, pragyanaganam, apragyam, napragyam, pragyam, napragyam, all these kinds of things, which is what you are seeing. This is all drishyam. This is all experienced. Whatever you are experiencing, you are at a higher level. How? This is what we have to understand. How am I at a higher level? Or you can say, how is it that this is at a lower level? This is what we have to see. So let's take the first word, which is adrishtam. Adrishtam means, so this is Atma. Sa Atma sa Vijñeyaha, as the verse says in the end. You are that person. Sa Atma means you, that's you. And so the word to describe you, because the first line is, what is not you? Na antah pragyam, na bahish pragyam. What is not you? Then what am I? Okay, now we are dealing. Starts with the first word, adrishtam. Adrishtam means one which is not seen. So, it's interesting, the first time you hear, not the first time, but normally when this is how it, you have to go somewhere, you have to read Upanishads, etc. And it say, this cannot be, you cannot see yourself through your sense organs. Okay, so you make a note of it. I am one that cannot be seen through the sense organs, through the eyes. Eyes cannot see it, the mind cannot see it. Okay, all right. I don't quite understand what it means, but okay, I have Shraddha. And so I kind of accept it and just go on. This is not understanding. So a step towards understanding is what I would say is this. I think the word need, N-E-E-D, need, is an interesting one. I mean, I kind of, this is my way of looking at this, but I think it is relevant. So what happens is, this is the one way to separate the two levels. In my non-understanding, I feel I need to be dependent. I need the world. I need to see. I need to do. I need to be happy. This is my English word which explains the dependency that I find because of my limitation, my parichinnatvam. I need it. How am I going to, I need the world, I need food, I need good health, I need friends, I need it. So the word adrishtam is much more than saying eyes do not see it. See, this is a normal thing when we read. We say adrishtam means the Atma cannot be seen, it cannot be, and then you feel, okay, but so what? But I think we need to understand is this. You don't need to do something. You don't need to see. Here, the seeing is involved. Drish here is with respect to the eyes. Same thing happens with respect to all the other sense organs. That you cannot touch it. You cannot smell it. You cannot hear it. But the way to look at it is, I don't need to touch it. I don't need to hear it. I don't need to smell it. I don't need to see it. How? This is the real understanding. So here in these examples, our acharyas, Swami Akhandananda ji and others have shown, take a look at the normal phenomena. So supposing you want to have a something like an apple. Supposing you want to have an apple, you're hungry and you're supposed to have fruits as a means of energy and sugar and so on. And so you're looking for an apple. Consider what you need to do to eat an apple. Just consider that. Okay. First of all, this is what is called it needs to be an object in front of me, isn't it? When you say an apple, apple means all objects, there's something other than you. So this is what is called adibhautikam, adibhutaha, bhutebhyaha janyaha. What it means is that it needs to be, in this particular case, it doesn't have to be solid, but a solid object which is made out of the Pancha Mahabhutas The apple has a space in it. It has air in it. It has fire in it, warmth in it. It has lots of jala, lots of liquid, and of course it has solidity. So it's made up of these 5 elements. So the 5 elements are what is called Adi Bhautikam. Right? So you need the Adi Bhautikam. Then you need to see it, because you cannot see apples in complete darkness. So you need some light, and the most important source of light is the sun. So this is what is called Adi Daivikam. Adi Daivikam. That means that devas, all the celestial devatas, they have to participate. They have to give you the anugraha. Supposing the sun was not there, first of all, you will not have any light. You won't be able to, it will be complete darkness. You cannot even find the apple. Secondly, it won't have the warmth. And in fact, the light and the warmth creates the condition where the apple can germinate and can become a fruit. So there are so many devatas involved. There is the Agni Devata, there is the Surya Devata, there is the Prithvi Devata. So many devatas are involved. This is called Adi Daivikam. Just to eat the apple. Then you need your ability you need to have eyes. Because if you're completely blind, you cannot find the apple. Somebody has to give it to you. Even if the apple is there, the sun is there, heat is there, but you don't have the ability to see it. And not only just to see the apple, to eat it. You need hands. You need legs to go up to the refrigerator to get it out. You need eyes. You need lots of things. This is what it's called. You need it. You need it. So there's 3 basic elements for you to do anything. One is Adi Bhautikam, Adhyatmikam, Adi Daivikam, let's look at sequence. Adi Daivikam and Adhyatmikam. Adhyatmikam means one that you have. It is in your possession. It is your contribution. See, you need all 3 of them. You need all 3 of them. So this is how I need the world to sustain myself, isn't it? So let's go back to the word adrishtam. And so really it's interesting. We looked at the apple as a drishtam. Apple is seen. Then comes the vyavahara. Vyavaharyam. Drishtam. Vyavaharyam. Vyavaharyam means now you have to do something. Not you have to, but you do. You eat it, you grab it, you peel it. You enjoy it. And you do it carefully. I learned from my experience that the skin of the apple bothers my tummy. And my tummy has a slight ache. So I peel my apples. I don't eat apples without peeling it. This is called vyavaharya. Other people don't have that problem. My two grandkids, sometimes if I give them an apple, there are strict instructions given to me. Do not take the skin off. They enjoy the skin. Wonderful. They don't have the same tummy problem that I do. And skin is good actually. It is called drishtam and then vyavaharyam. Okay? So with respect to other objects and other things, objects meaning this is an example of the world around you. You need it. You need to transact. You need to see it. Drishtam. Then vyavaharyam. You need to agrahyam. I think that's the next one, isn't it? Yeah, agrahyam. Grahya means you have to pick it up. So these are the karmendriyas. Drishtam means it is jnanendriya. Vyavaharyam means mind. You have to think about it. What do I do next? And then you say you have to pick it up like an apple. Okay, all this is, you need it, you need it, you need it. What about knowing yourself? Do you need the sun to know yourself? Just think about it. Do you need the Pancha Mahabhutas? Do you need the space, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, to know yourself? Do you? You are self-existent. You are the Sat. You are self-aware. Chit. And you are Ananda Swarupa. When you don't have any limitation as it happens in the deep sleep, you are Ananda Swarupa. Your nature is Ananda. You don't need Adi Bhautikam. You don't need Adi Daivikam. You don't need Adhyatmikam. You don't need anything. That is your own nature. The feeling of needing something is a notion. And the notion only comes in when you are looking at yourself in the sense of the upadhi, the ghatakasha. So the body is, you're looking at yourself from the standpoint of your body. You don't need to do that. And this body is also is avyavaharyam. I am still only on the word adrishtam. Just look at this. So the meaning of the adrishtam, this is the beauty of really the teaching, not just reading the books and so on and so forth. Adrishta means that you cannot see yourself with the eyes. That makes you even more confused. What does it mean? What it should mean is you don't need it. My dear, you don't need it. You're okay the way you are. Please appreciate that. The fact of the matter is I don't appreciate it. I don't. I don't know how to appreciate it. Because the moment I live, I only live in terms of my limitations, of what I see. Fine, I understand that. But that's not reality. As I think it says in the Kathopanishad, Jagrata Uttishta Varan Nibodhata. Swami Kandananda points this out many, many times. He says, what Vedanta tells, what the Shastra tells, is wake up. Wake up. I am already awake. Uttishta. Get up. And then the third one is Varan Nibodhata. Varan Nibodhata means learn from those who are wise. So what do you mean by wake up? Jagrata. I'm already awake. So what Vedanta says is, really this is a fact. Your life as Bahishpragya, Antahpragya, your life as the waker, as a Vishwa, is like sleepwalking. It's like sleepwalking. This is not waking. Sleepwalking means, what does a sleepwalker does? I mean, I've only heard of that. I've never seen a sleepwalker. But they are there. What sleepwalking does is that you get up from the bed and you walk. You can go to the kitchen and you can open the refrigerator and you can take something out and then you can sit down and then after eating something or drinking something, you go back to the bed. This happens. It's called sleepwalking. So the difference between a sleepwalker and a real walker is that you have a wrong idea of what's happening to you. You're half asleep and half awake. You're kind of awake because you're walking. You're not completely asleep, but you're not fully awake. That's exactly what happens. We are transacting, we are doing vyavahara, but all doing in terms of not really understanding what's happening to me. Who am I? And so it says, wake up, wake up. And after you wake up, then you can transact. Then you can transact. Therefore, going back to the way the second line of the mantra should be understood is adrishtam, avyavaharyam, agrahyam, avyapadeshyam, etc. As we will see, we will dissect each word one at a time. But the overall sense that we must keep in mind is, I don't need it. The reality of myself is, I don't need any of this. I am fully capable without, just like, for example, my understanding of who I am. Adrishtam means that I don't need adibhautikam, adhyatmikam, adidaivikam, nothing I don't need. I was telling you this, that I think I've given you this example a couple of times, that I used to, I remember my dad who would say, I can't remember anything. And I'm beginning to forget the people's names, and it used to bother him, and he used to say a lot, talk times. I think I've told you this a couple of times. And I find the same thing happening to me, but with a difference. I am also beginning to, honestly, if I see you, by the way, we are going to have a retreat, our annual local retreat that we did October of last year, if you recall. There's about 70 of you that came. So I've just decided to have another one this year. This will be on October 11th and 12th, Saturday and Sunday. So I'll let you know, but please, you can put that on your calendar if you could. So I really would like to see you. But when I see you, it's very possible I may not remember your name. I have to admit, my memory of names is fading very fast. Very fast. Even names of roads I can't remember. But do you know something? It doesn't bother me. So, my mind cannot remember. That's okay. I don't need to. One day, one of these days, slowly the body will start to dissipate. My senses will dissipate. It's okay. Because I am what I am. So this is an important thing, I feel. It's kind of like the way I'm presenting it to you is, please see that you don't need anything. You are okay the way. This is what is called praptasya prapti. So, as we will see in more detail as we go, when it comes to Sat, you don't need to anything to be Sat. Because as Swami Akhandananda so clearly points out, that if you look at the three sources of limitations, three basic sources of limitations are time, space, and the fact that it has some form is what is called karya karana. Kala, desha, and karya karana. These are the three sources of limitations. Okay? Now, if you really look at it, time, space, and specificity, a particular form, are only relevant to drishya, not to drik. See, this is what Viveka is all about. I don't need the time. But I, as a body, needs time. Needs time means it is a function of time. Time has relevance only in drishya, not in drik. All questions about time are only relevant when you have a sense of limitation. When was I born? How long will I live? Then the karya karana comes in. What will happen to me? What are the causes? What are the effects? What is karma? What is dharma? What is papa? What is punya? All those samskaras, they are all intertwined with time and space. All these limitations, all the three limitations, kalataha, deshataha, and vastutaha, only apply to drishya, not to drik. I, as the Atma, is independent of time. It is Satsvarupaha. It is Chitsvarupaha. It is Ananda Swarupaha. Not a form. It is the very nature. You cannot say Mahakasha, the total space, has any relevance to anything. It is independent. Yes, it can accommodate. It can accommodate limitation. So I can also accommodate limitations. But to accommodate limitation is very different from being limited. You see? So this way of looking at things that I need and I don't need anything. So we will go in the next word, vyavaharyam. Vyavaharyam means to transact. And the transaction is done through words, through thoughts, and through deeds. And all transactions are with respect to kala, desha, and vastu. And so, if I need to transact, then I need all these three factors. And I do. So all my transactions with respect to I like this, I don't like that person, I'm dependent on this person, I'm independent of that. This person is helpful, that person is not helpful. This is my enemy, this is my friend. This is good, this is bad. All of these transactions have to do with Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika, and Adi Daivaka. They don't apply to the Atma because that's another interesting thing. The Atma is the Adhisthana of all transactions. This word Adhisthana is a very beautiful word. It comes from Adhi and Sthana. Adhi means here Adhika. Adhika means more. Sthana means a place. So the Adhisthana is more than a place which is more than the transactions. More than because the transaction has limitations, it has to begin at a particular time. All our dealings with the world starts at a particular time, plays at in a particular space, and then goes away. No one is a permanent friend. No one is a permanent enemy. No one is a permanent liker, disliker. It all comes and goes. But the Atma was there even before the transaction. And it will be the same. You cannot have a transaction without the Atma. It is the very water, the very space on which all changes are occurring. So therefore it is avyavaharyam. It has nothing to do with vyavahara. It is the basis of vyavahara. I don't need the vyavahara. This is the meaning of avyavaharyam. This is the sense of the second line. Adrishtam avyavaharyam. Agrahyam. And we will go at the other words in the next class. Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. It is the basis of Vyavaha. All these, all this teaching is really much more, much more enriching if you are sitting personally and then there's some dialogue, you can have some doubts, some questions, and so on. And that's not possible in this, so it's not the best. But anyway, what I would request you is that I'm sure you have questions. Do write to me. I don't get any questions, any feedback generally. So at least you could, if you haven't, please don't hesitate to write to me. If not, then we'll have to just wait until we get together and present this live. And so I hope you can attend the one in October. Looking forward to that. So anyway, all the best to you.